Hello, Capricorn. Just doing an update for you. You can have this reading whenever you'd like, whenever you end up here. We're live streaming it, but we're also recording it. So if you're on YouTube, welcome in. And just like Leo, or Aries, I think it was. Never mind, it was Aries. The card comes out right away. The first card comes out right away for your reading. And Capricorn energy is here. And we're just going to see what the cards say. No particular rhyme or reason for this reading. Eight of Wands. King of Wands. Wands, Wands. Fire, fire. Somebody lit a fire. Never mind. You know that saying, somebody lit a fire under your butt. Somebody has a fire lit under their butt. Oof. Okay, the Ten of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Now there's that pile of paperwork. There's something that somebody's been putting off getting done, or they just have a lot to do and they have the motivation to do it, and you're going to watch somebody get something done. You're going to watch somebody, just like plow through a whole lot of work all in one sitting. And you have the opportunity to understand it, see it from start to finish. We said this before, it was like sifting like the weeds, and there's a message that came in earlier before we started recording readings that was something about there's a solution to problems that exists, like there's a confusion about what to do next, and what we haven't accounted for is the fact that we don't know what to do next. There's something that has to be a part of things, is what I'm seeing. And I see you almost like somewhat an outsider, having a kind of almost like bird's eye view of what's going on. Like you have an overview of all the things that are happening. This kind of feels like a case study maybe. So you might benefit from reading a case study for something that you have going on right now. There's some time, you have an opportunity to see something from the messy beginning to the very awesome ending. Like that you see that all the parts are just scattered about, and then you see somebody put those parts together and turn it into something amazing. The Queen of Cups, it's not just a great thing to see because it's entertaining. It's actually like, this is for you. That there's somebody who put something together for you, Capricorn. Pretty amazing. And you got to see it from start to finish. You got to see where they started from, what they started with. And it would be your opportunity to see what they started with that makes this so amazing. And you're going to have a chance to see this in the very near future. Two of Wands. Imagine what that might be. Three of Pentacles. Case study is one of those things I think comes from like business school or something like that. So maybe somebody's in business school, but like that, I think business school is pretty much just reading case studies like all the time, as far as I understand from friends of mine who've gone. But maybe there's like a success story from rags to riches, the from the ground up, a startup that turned into a big, multinational success story. It started with a lot of different parts. You see all the base ingredients and they're all tangled up, and the way that the energy is focused turns into the great thing that it is. And your opportunity to witness the beginning of it is you're taking from that beginning. In order to imagine your success in this thing that you're starting out, this venture you're starting out right now, you have to know that everybody started out with a whole lot of weeds. Everybody started in the weeds. Everybody was way too busy when they first started out. Everybody had way too many parts to make sense of. Nobody had a clear view of where they were going when they first started out. They maybe focused their vision, and that's where it really started to take off. Focus your vision and it starts to take off. Focus your vision and it starts to take off. This looks like affirmation or even some form of... we focus a lot on how we don't know where we're going. But if you were to think of maybe a time or something that you've read or something that you've seen of one of those success stories where somebody didn't know what was gonna come of it, and then they ended up creating something great. In that story, you already know what it's like to not know where you're going. We don't need to focus there. What you might need to imagine now, if you're doing like manifesting work or something like that, is this energy that might feel a bit unfamiliar. Focusing the vision and it taking off. It was after you focused your vision that it really took off. Page of Pentacles. Ooh. Right. It's something that you could be offering to your vision right now that isn't being offered to your vision right now. That's what I'm seeing. Like, it's not going to cost you anything. It doesn't cost a dime. Redirecting your focus from how busy or how many things there are and not knowing where to start or where it's going. Refocusing that vision on what it feels like to be focused and in the way focused in the way that produces the best results. I don't know, this really feels businessy. Focus your time, and because that's what we do, right? We take our overwhelm, we take our lots to do. It was the Aries reading. So much to do, and we tend to go like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I don't want to stop and talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. I made a careless mistake. That's fine. That's Aries reading. But this for you, Capricorn, is a message about that's cats. That's cats upstairs. I don't know what they're doing, but it's very fast, whatever it is. That's maybe a distraction, but it's also whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is you have the opportunity to do right now, or that you have the time to do right now, or maybe there's some time coming up. You're being given some time to finally tackle this pile of paperwork. You know, where we tend to get overwhelmed with all of the things there are to do. In such a way where we say this thing that Aries was saying. It's like, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. I have to do this, I have to do all these things. I don't have time for this, I don't have time for this. And you think it maybe is about restricting your time from anything else that isn't this pile. When we're getting something different, that it's actually about intuiting what needs to get done actually. There's some things in your pile right now that don't actually need to get done. You just have them in the same pile, and maybe focusing, there's a certain order that you can do it in that would produce the best results. And having a minute with that, spending some time with that, might feel like time that you can't afford. But we're saying it doesn't cost you time to do that. It actually saves you time, because you don't end up having to do some of this stuff that's in this pile. So it's not going to end up costing you time. Your vision is important, and it's important that you have a way of recognizing. Eight of Cups. It looks like you kind of stopped doing that. assuming that the work would inform you how to do it, assuming that it would, if you just get it all done, then it would be done and that's the best possible outcome. But I'm seeing something like, for whatever it is that you're working on right now, and it's got something to do with a big pile of paperwork or a really big pile on your desk of something, a lot of assignments or something. This is about the value of coming up with a strategy. And maybe even taking an example from someone else who's gone through something similar. And ask, if there's something that's super overwhelming for you right now, ask somebody else what they did. Were they ever in this position? And it could be that somebody can give you some really good tips, on some fiery hot tips on what are the most important things to do. And once you get those things done, now you're hitting the ground running. Now you're really cooking with gas. I hope that's a helpful reading for you, Capricorn. Good place to stop and check out the other readings, and also come see us on Twitch. We're streaming quite frequently. Thanks again. Take care.